Hi, Liz.
Hi.
Thanks for coming in today.
Mm-hmm.
How's everything been going?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
okay. It's hard. It's hard to every day. There's a new struggle, anxiety. Just it's really hard to not do the drugs that I was doing and the lifestyle. I
Mm-hmm.
miss it too. It's been really hard for me to what to do instead of that.
Have the meetings been helping?
Yeah, it's just a whole nother world and a way of living. So the meeting, everybody's nice, and I hear what everybody's saying. I haven't felt comfortable enough to talk in them, just because I don't know what to say, and so I've checked them out a little bit, like you told me to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think there's just like so much else that's going on besides just going and sitting at the meetings. Like the meeting's an hour, and then there's the rest of the day.
There's the rest of
Mm-hmm.
life.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
So,
So what have the days been looking like for you when you're not actually attending to the meetings? What else are you doing?
um, to be honest, I sleep a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I've been sleeping a lot. I don't know if that's just part of being depressed or just like making the time go by fast. And then like another thing is too, like all my friends do drugs. So here I am trying to stop, and they're calling me. So I usually shut off my phone, and so my days are kind of, I don't know,
Yeah.
sad. I don't. It's just, it's like I don't know where to turn to. Like I'm
Right.
afraid to leave my house. So if I leave my house, what am I gonna do? Where am I gonna go?
That sounds like a lot of anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm hearing is um, the people that you used to do drugs with, keep on calling you, and you're dealing with trying to avoid them and not taking those phone calls and just wanting to shut them out,
Pretty much,
right?
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Well, I think in part of in getting clean and sober is making friends within the program, and I know that doesn't come very easy to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's really great that you're still going. And did you, if I remember correctly, I think your 30 days clean was coming up this past week, right?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
on Monday.
Did you get a coin for that?
Not yet.
Okay. Are you
Yeah.
going to?
Yeah, I
Okay.
did. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Have you talked to anyone at the meetings? Because I know that they sometimes will go out for coffee, and I
Mm-hmm.
know that you smoke cigarettes too. And
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've talked to people like before when we're outside, and then get coffee, and then after, but I haven't gone out like to coffee with anybody yet.
right.
Because I'm still just, I don't know, nervous
Yeah.
and scared and figuring out like, is this for me? And
Mm-hmm.
um, but I mean, I've talked to a lot of really nice people that say they know what I'm going through one day at a time and all that. So,
And you've been taking your medication every day
mm-hmm.
too. How is that going?
So far so good, I guess.
Do you think that that might be contributing to maybe how you're sleeping
It could
more?
be. It could be. And it could be just that my body needs it too. I don't know if it needs it or if I'm just using that as an excuse or, I mean, I'm sure it's a combination. Maybe it's a combination of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my whole life has changed in the month.
Right. Right. And
So,
that's a very, very big thing
mm-hmm.
too. And it will take some adjusting too. But
Mm-hmm.
I am so proud of you for going to the meetings and doing everything that you have to. That's really great. So I know that we also talked about that you were having some trouble finding a part-time job. How's that been going?
Still, still a search.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Any leads at all on anything?
a couple places, like coffee shops and stuff, said they would call me as soon as there was an opening. So, I mean, I feel like right now I can't do something really like high stress that
Yes.
I just need like the part-time just to get some money in to get out. So I'm just waiting to hear back from places when they have openings. So
Right. Well, again, doing the right thing. I mean, doing the footwork that you have to do. That's really great.
yeah.
So, anything specific on your mind that you want to talk about today?
Just I don't like just like my mind is racing and obsessing about a million different things
Okay.
every day. So it's just
What do you mean by racing and obsessing? Can you be
um like am I ever gonna be happy? Am I ever gonna make friends? Like am I gonna be able to live like clean and sober and be functional in society? You know, am I gonna get a job? Am I gonna be able to pay my rent? Like all these things.
all those anxiety statements? Yeah. It can be
A lot,
It
yeah.
can be overwhelming.
There's like a million.
Absolutely.
Right.
And do you remember last week we kind of touched upon the thought stopping technique, and have you been doing that at all? Remember, it's the one where you, when you catch yourself kind of getting overwhelmed in your thoughts, to sort of take a step back and look at your palm or looking at something neutral and saying this stop.
Yeah. No, yeah, I know what you're talking about. But
Okay.
it's definitely like, I think when we talked about it, I'm like, oh, I can do that. That's like easy. But then,
Right.
like, in the moment, like, I remember it and I remember everything you said, but I'm like, okay, this, you
Yeah.
know? So, so I just don't, like, know how to do that. Like, when I have, like, 10 million, like, 10 thoughts going on. Like, so if I was like in my apartment for set, like, do I just stop and look at whatever, like the picture on the wall? Is that what I do?
Yeah, it can be looking at a picture on the wall, but it might be a little bit better if you're looking at, see the color of this wall. It's a very, very neutral tone. Sometimes if you're looking at a picture that's a little bit more detailed, it helps, I think, perhaps to look at something, I guess, more blank. So I would try that and keep on going with it. It's an act of mindfulness and paying attention to your feelings, kind of stopping. And you're going to hear this a lot in the meetings if you haven't already, but taking things one thing at a time, one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, and sometimes 1 minute at a time, really,
Yeah.
to help stop some of that overwhelming racing.
Right.
Are they about, so it's really about the kind of what if, what if I don't get a job? What if I can't stay clean and sober?
Yeah.
I think that's where the mindfulness practice will kind of come into play too, because when you are mindful of how you're thinking and what you're thinking, it can slow things down. So I would keep on trying to do that, and just really can't stress enough the 1 minute at a time. And
Yeah, 1
don't,
second.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and I guess don't forget to give yourself some praise too, because coming off of drugs, coming off of alcohol, and then still getting those phone calls from your friends and dealing with that anxiety, it is a lot. It is a lot.
Overwhelming.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what if, I guess I do a lot of like what ifs, and like what if I'm in whatever kind of state and they call and I at that moment break and I'm like, pick me up, let's go, let's go do this, like I'm done.
Right.
And like some people, like I've heard some people in the meetings, I don't know if this is right or wrong, but they'll be like, relapse is part of recovery, and I don't know, that seems right now for me kind of scary. I think scary, like, oh, that's part of recovery. I don't know. Like, it just.
Yeah, because it's, I think sometimes when people say that it's part of recovery, it kind of gives them a way out and be
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, well, if relapse is part of the recovery and I really want to use right now, well, this is part of the
That's
recovery.
okay. Yeah.
Right, that it sort of justifies what they
Mm-hmm.
want to do, which is why I think it's so important to build up that network
Mm-hmm.
and to, um, you know, talk a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
at the meetings.
Right.
Um, because I'm sure you probably heard this too. Um, the newcomer is the most important person at the meetings. I know that
Mm-hmm.
that's what they say a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so you being there and you sharing, as difficult and as anxiety provoking as it might be, I think will help you, but it will also help the other people there too to
Mm-hmm.
hear what you have to say.
Hmm. Never looked at it like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm like, what if I don't say the right thing? What if I just like overthinking? What could I say? How is this going to help? Like, you know,
Right.
am I going to say something stupid? Are they going to roll their eyes at me?
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like, do I have no chance in this?
The regular sort
Yeah,
of
like, are they going to
fears.
judge me? Are they going to laugh at me? Like,
Right.
if I do, are they going to, like, am I going to say something that's like the worst thing that they've ever heard?
Mm-hmm.
And
And so what if they do though? So what if
yeah,
you do say the worst thing that they've ever heard?
yeah,
You know?
yeah. I don't know. It's just a lot, and I just don't. It just feels like I don't know which way to go, like where to turn, and like how to start this new life. I
Mm-hmm.
guess this new me.
Right. Well, again, I think that's something that's um, one thing at a
Mm.
time. And again, congratulate yourself for coming this far.
Mm-hmm.
It's so glad. I'm so glad that you came in here initially 4 weeks ago, and
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah, me
you really
too.
sought out the help. And I can tell that you're serious about it too, even though there's, I think, that part in your brain that says, "Oh, it would be so much easier to just give in and pick up the phone when your friends call." And
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, like part of me wishes like everybody could be doing what I'm doing because then we could all like help each
yeah,
other. But that's not gonna happen.
it would
And
be
I
so
just
much easier that way, wouldn't
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Right.
If everybody just got sober and clean, and then I wouldn't have like the temptations, and we could call each other and go with each other. So it's just
Mm-hmm.
like hard going like by myself
Right.
to everything. But like you said, I need to like try to reach out to some of the other women
Mm-hmm.
in there
Right.
and just kind of, even though I'm scared, just to like walk through, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But like that's fine. It's just like I don't know what to do on like my spare time, like those hours that I don't have anything to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have friends that aren't necessarily in recovery but don't drink or don't do drugs?
I mean, my other friends that are normal, like, I mean, they drink, but just like not alcoholically.
Right.
Um,
Right. Right.
but
Right.
they, they're busy too. Like, they had their lives, they got married, they have kids, so I think that's hard too. I have
Yeah.
my friends that drug and drink, and then I have my friends that lead like normal, like
Yeah.
the house and the husband or the kids and
Mm-hmm.
all that. So it's just like, where do I fit? Like, I
Right.
feel like I'm in between.
So the way I'm hearing it is, there's a sort of the friends that drink and do drugs and the ones that are calling you. And then
Mm-hmm.
on the other end, there's the sort of respectable um, people that have their own families and.
Right.
Right.
Healthy. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that sounds like it's a kind of weird place for you to be in.
Right. And I just wish I had like something to do, like some I don't know, like a hobby or something just to get me through, I guess. But I don't even know like what I would do or.
Well, you were talking, I think it was last week or the week before, that you were interested in, I think it was yoga, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've tried it before, like a long time ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
But it seems like, I don't know, like when you were talking about like all the mindful things, like all the mindfulness and stuff,
Right.
that like yoga like might go hand in hand with that
hmm
and like help me just to relax and all that. So
Yeah, and for my own personal health, I do a lot of it, and I can't recommend it enough. And I know on Thursday nights, um, at the center, they have free yoga classes too. I don't know if I told you
okay.
that
No,
before.
because I was gonna
Yeah,
say like then there's like the money thing because
yeah,
they're like this is the membership for however many sessions it's $75, something
something
ridiculous.
outrageous.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so that's nice to hear that there's free.
and it's for beginners too.
Oh
So
yeah,
that
right. Because I don't think I can do all those crazy moves that I see on TV,
right. No, this one I
and
think
then I'll
will
get
be
nervous all
great.
again.
And not only that, it could also be another way to meet people with similar interests as well.
Right,
So,
that's true.
in addition, I would also check out the message board at the center because I think they offer, well, I know that they offer a lot of free services there too. And I remember we were talking about how I played guitar and you were interested in learning how to play guitar. They have free guitar lessons there too. I think it's either Saturday or Sunday. I'll look into that too.
Yeah, that
Just
would be
to
good.
remind you of that.
Yeah, because that would be great. Because I've had my guitar for like 10 years, and it's kind of like one of those things. Like I was too busy drinking and doing drugs that I'd always like talk about all my dreams and what I wanted to do, but then never do any of it.
Yeah.
So, like, if I could like make a list or like accomplish some of those things that I've always wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, I would meet people through doing other activities,
Yeah.
hopefully.
And
Like-
things that are healthy and good for you too, like the yoga thing I can't stress enough, and learning to play an instrument too, especially one that you've had the guitar for so long and never picked it up. I mean, it would be
Right.
great, I think, for you to learn too.
Right,
So
that's true.
very good. And so, in addition to those two things, I the last time I was there, I was looking at the message board, and there was just lots of free classes, and so you might even find something else that you like too.
Yeah.
So,
So just look at the board.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
so how's home life?
Home life is just boring.
And it's just is it you and
My roommate.
okay.
Just
Okay.
my roommate and I.
Does she drink and
I mean, she spends a lot of time at her boyfriend's and she works a lot, so she basically just has like a room. You know what I mean?
Okay.
She's like in and out, so like a majority amount of the time I'm home by myself. So like she's in and out,
right?
busy with her boyfriend, busy at work. So I see her just like in passing. So
How long have you two been living together?
2 years.
Okay.
2 years, so.
And everything's fine between the two of you?
Yeah, of course I'm like in my little crazy worry minds, like, oh, is she gonna come home one day and be like, I'm moving out, and then I won't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then I have to pay rent all alone, or find a new roommate, find a roommate that's gonna work. So that's just like another worry, like she's gonna come home at any point, and because she's pretty serious with her boyfriend, and we're kind of like at an age that could happen, so just being like, realize that could happen.
It could.
It could, right, or maybe not, like,
Yeah.
but I go more of is she gonna come home today and tell me like, oh, I'm done after this month?
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, great.
What are you gonna do?
Awesome.
Right.
Like another thing.
Right.
So I just feel like it probably isn't, but I feel like everything's chaotic. Like it isn't, but it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like in my mind, probably it is, but on a day-to-day basis, I feel like I'm just wake up, get my breakfast, watching TV.
Yeah.
Like we'll go online, kind of look for jobs. It's just very like Groundhog Day. Like
Yeah.
every day is the same, and I'm just like, when is it going to change? When are things going to happen? When am I not going to feel like this?
And what exactly do you mean when you say feel like this?
Just that constant anxiety and my mind racing and my heart racing, and just that like constant like worry.
Mm-hmm.
Like when is it going to stop? Like when am I going to feel like I did when I was younger, I guess. Like when is everything gonna like start, like get a job and feel comfortable in my own skin and make a group of healthy friends? Like when is that gonna happen?
Mm-hmm.
Like I just feel really like every day is just like the same and nothing's happening, and like I don't know what to do.
Yeah, that sort of mundane
Mm-hmm.
routine.
Right. Yep. And then I'm like, is this how it is for everybody? Like, are people that are healthy and normal and they're living, is it like that for them, but it just like looks different? Or like, I think I just like obsess and overanalyze everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is this how everybody lives? Like, they get up, they go to work, they come home, they have dinner, they put their kids to bed, Or am I just living in this like bubble and world that's miserable and nobody else is like this?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not funny to hear you say that, but in hearing you say that, I think that this is something that you might want to share at the next meeting that you go to. Basically, what you just said to me, because I feel that a lot of people there are going to be nodding in agreement with you because they've been there. And I understand that when you raise your hand and you say something like that, especially when you haven't spoken before in a meeting, it can kind of make you feel more anxious.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like you to give it a try,
Mm-hmm.
if you could, and just really try to be present and be in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And share from your heart, because I really think that it might make you feel better.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I'll
would
try
you be
it.
willing to give that a try?
Yeah, I'll try it.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe when I go to pick up my my 30-day
Mm-hmm.
chip, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
If I can. But it's funny because like when I sit in the meetings, I'm just like, and I listen and I can like, I'm anxious and I can hear everybody and I can like see people laughing and having a good time, and I'm like, wow, they're like, how are they laughing and like so comfortable, and it's like I want what they have.
Yeah.
Like I want like, I wish I could like get up and laugh and do whatever they're doing and be open and honest and not have like a care in the world. Like not that I'm sure they have worries too, but it's just like I do a lot of observing, I guess, and like how do they live that?
Mm-hmm.
Like how have they gone like a year without drinking or doing drugs, and they're so happy and comfortable and have so much like life in their life, so much happiness and joy and all that stuff. But I guess like one woman says like it comes with time, and it's just hard to hear that right now because I'm in it, so I can't believe, like I almost, not that I can't believe it, but it just feels like there's so much work to be done, and then then they talk about the steps, and that's just like a whole nother like overwhelming thing to even think about.
Right.
Um,
Well, they all started, like you are right now.
Yeah.
And I think probably when they came into the program, they were doing what you're doing, observing and seeing other people perhaps, and saying to themselves like, I want what they have, and how do I get that? And it seems like such a huge thing, but
Right.
again, I think that's where you'll hear, and where you'll hear one thing at a time and really start to put that into practice, because that's basically all we have is taking things one day at a time.
Yeah, it's just like I think I have so many questions too about like staying sober and the whole process of AA and NA. Like, what do you do? Like, what do you do?
What do you mean?
Like, how do you, like, I know I always hear them talk about like sponsors and meet with your sponsor and do the steps, and I'm just like, how do you find a sponsor? How do you like know when you're ready to do the steps, or do they tell you when you're ready, or is there somebody in charge, or like, is somebody gonna hook me up with a sponsor? I don't know, like, I just don't get it, I guess. And just another one of my worries and anxiousness. And I think things are still like kind of blurry for me too, just being a month clean and sober.
Yeah.
Like, am I even thinking correctly? Is it all out of my, am I back to normal yet?
Thinking about your thinking. Yeah.
Thinking about my thinking.
Yes, right.
I'm really good at that.
Yeah.
So, just like a lot of questions and confusion about like everything. So, yeah. Just a lot.
Right. Well, I still think you're doing a really good job, and I think that those things will start coming easier to you. But you really gotta you gotta just, I know your hand and your arm must feel like 1,000 pounds, but next time.
Yeah.
And just share what you feel comfortable sharing with. And I don't want to make any guarantees, but I think you'll feel a lot better, really.
Yeah.
And for the for outside of meetings, and when you are, let's say, at your house or going through the sort of mundane things that we were talking about, there's something that, in addition to the thought stopping and the mindfulness, there's another skill that you might find useful. Okay. So this is a skill called BOSS. BOSS. And it's an acronym. And I think that by thinking of BOSS, it will maybe help guide you in a right direction when you're kind of feeling overwhelmed and you have those racing thoughts, like you said. So the first letter of BOSS is B, and that stands for busy. So, say for example, you're having the racing thoughts, and you're seeing that your old friends are calling you on the phone, and you're having the what if thinking and everything. B standing for busy. Basically, it's looking for busy work. Things like cleaning the house, simple things like that. Doing the dishes, or even just getting up and doing something physical. So, do you have any ideas as to something that you might do that might fit under that category of busy?
Um, I guess when I get up, I could just like immediately do like all my chores, we'll say, like get everything ready, like the dishes, the laundry, do all that. I was thinking like since it's like getting nice out, but I don't know if a walk, if that would be considered busy because you're walking, and then I would be thinking.
I mean, it could be. I think
Right.
that's actually it could be a really, really good one.
Mm-hmm.
Even just a short 5-minute walk around the block could be
Mm-hmm.
really good for you. And leave the phone.
Right, just to get like up
Inside.
out of the house instead of like waking up, turning on the TV,
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So those are some things that might be
Mm-hmm.
beneficial. Can you think of anything else?
Um.
It doesn't have to be chore type things. I mean, I use the example
Right.
of cleaning the house
Right.
and doing the dishes because it's stuff that I guess we have to do.
Right.
But
Busy.
well, if I may, I can think of something.
Okay.
I remember you said that you were, was it a painter? You liked painting?
Mm-hmm.
That could be something to do too,
Oh,
because
okay.
it's doing something physical,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, it's a lot more fun than looking for a job.
Yeah. Right. Well, I can't look for a job 24/7.
No, I don't.
Right.
No one can.
Right. Ugh. It's annoying and frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I could get like my art stuff out again because I kind of put it like boxed it away
Mm-hmm.
with the guitar.
Right. Yeah. Get those things out.
Yeah. Get them out. Put them around and
Right.
stare at them. No.
No, you don't want to just stare at them.
All right. So
Okay,
that's
so
busy
that
stuff.
busy. Really, what do you think of when someone says busy work?
Mm-hmm.
It can help distract your mind a little bit and
Mhm.
get your mind focused on other things, or sometimes even get your mind focused on nothing, which is
Mhm.
better than kind of thinking about the not so good stuff.
Right.
So the second letter is O, and that stands for others. And basically, what that means is, again, when you're having those obsessive racing thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
thinking about other people, writing a letter to someone, calling someone on the phone,
Mm-hmm.
not one of your old friends.
Right.
I know that you have a good relationship with your mom, calling your mom on the phone, just
Mm-hmm.
focusing on other people,
Mm-hmm.
but not in the way where you're sort of thinking about those old friends and is that like how we were just talking about is everybody does everybody feel like this? Is this what everyone's feeling is like?
Mhm.
But it's really more about taking the attention or the focus off of yourself
Mm-hmm.
and putting it towards somebody else,
Right.
in a constructive way.
Mm-hmm.
So again, making a phone call to someone that you trust and
Right.
you know that that person cares for you.
Yeah.
Writing a letter, sending an email.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that you can think of that would fit under that category?
I mean,
that
like you
might
said,
try?
because I've like talked about my mom, and she's really good about not like asking and prying. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? Are you still sober?
Mhm.
Da da da. Like, so she's like a good positive person for me to reach out to. Definitely not my dad, because he tends to like only want to talk about all the mistakes that I've made.
Yeah.
He can't see like my mom will be like, oh my gosh, you almost have 30 days sober. Like, she praises me and makes me feel good,
That's great.
but we'll talk about like everything going on in her life.
Yeah.
So it's not like just like me calling to talk about me.
That's perfect. I think that's perfect.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good.
Anyone else?
I mean, I could always I've been, ever since I moved, I've been kind of like, not pen pals, that's kind of an old fashioned thing, but my best friend and I always send each other notes instead of like an email or a phone call, because nobody ever writes letters or notes anymore. So we do that because we live across the country from each other.
That's great.
So I could do that maybe a little bit more frequently. Like as of right now, we just do it on like holidays and stuff. So writing her.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So anything...
And she's actually sober too, and
Oh.
I haven't told her that I have been trying to. So
Perfect. Perfect. And there is someone else that that you could potentially call too, to build up your network and support system. That's great. That's great.
yeah.
So keep that in mind as well. The focus off of yourself and putting it onto other people. And I think what you said about your mom was really great, because sometimes when people, I think, love us and they care for us and we can trust them, they might be putting all the attention on you, as opposed to what you said. She can talk about any other thing too. She can talk about how great it is that you're clean and sober, but talk about
Nonsense, like
TV
Yeah.
or whatever. So
yeah.
that's great.
Good. Yeah.
And the third letter is S in boss, and that stands for self-soothing. So, and again, for the example, if you think about one of those times when you have the obsessive and racing thoughts, doing something that will make you physically, I feel like it's most of the time, physically feel better. A good example that I think is taking a hot bath. I know a lot of people find it really relaxing, and in a physical way, and an emotional and mental way. So that's one thing that I can think of that would be self-soothing. I think a lot of people too, when they think of things that help them make themselves feel better, it might be things like, well, for example, one of my friends has a pool. And, of course, when it's nice out like it is today, just even going into the pool for like a minute will make him feel a whole lot better. Because not only is it relieving you sort of physically, but you can also get some exercise in that way too. And for him personally, I know it's really fun to swim.
Yeah.
So that makes him feel physically better and emotionally better, mentally better. You know, that holistic approach that we talked about.
Right.
So is there anything that you can think of along those lines that might fit in that parameter?
I mean, I like the bath. Like, I know I'm like taking that, but like I like the. I used to always take bubble baths, and I would like shut off the lights and like light a candle and just like relax. And that might be like maybe a good thing to wrap up my day, like at night. Something like that. Like I could put it into my routine,
Right.
of like every night before I go to bed. That's what I do.
Could I also make a suggestion too? I think that maybe not every day, but for the time being, it might be a good way to wake up too. So
That's
you're
true.
not just sort of getting up, having breakfast, doing the mundane, looking for a job. If you start if you start in a more relaxed way, that might be
That's true.
worth trying.
Yeah, I'll try it.
Okay. Anything else that you can think of?
Could it be like listening to music or no?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Or even like if I take a walk and use my iPod.
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually thinking, too, you attend those guitar and yoga classes,
Mm-hmm.
both of those would be
Oh, right.
really great.
Right.
Because that, in addition to, walking with your iPod on
Mm-hmm.
and doing that stuff, basically looking for things that will give you some kind of physical release,
Mm-hmm.
make you physically feel better, emotionally feel better.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that you can think of that's sort of constructive and non-destructive
Right.
would fall under that category.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So the last S in the BOSS acronym is for sensations.
Mm-hmm.
And one that would be really good is the one that you just brought up with walking and listening to your iPod.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you're looking for anything that basically touches your senses.
Mm-hmm.
Cooking a really healthy food that you love.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're doing all the prep
Mm-hmm.
for that and eating something pleasurable and healthy.
Okay.
Something, walking with your iPod on, listening to your favorite music.
Mm-hmm.
Something visual is even going online and looking at some paintings that you like,
Mm-hmm.
doing the paintings yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to go a little bit more art focused.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that
Yeah,
you're really
that's
into
why I
art.
like.
So,
Yeah.
but things that sort of touches. If there's a favorite scent that you like, maybe buy a candle,
Mm-hmm.
and basically anything.
Sense.
Yes.
Of your senses.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So in keeping that, does that make sense to
Mm-hmm.
you?
Yeah,
Okay.
totally.
Is there anything else that you think you could add to that last S?
No, I think you covered everything
Okay.
that I could do because like the things that I do like, so
Right.
you incorporated all.
And there will be more, I'm sure, that you'll think of too.
Right.
But I think that if you try that technique
Mm-hmm.
of remembering just that simple word
Mm-hmm.
and what those letters stand for,
Mm-hmm.
when you have those racing thoughts, and you have so much going on in your brain, it can sort of distract you.
Right.
And you can do all four of the BOSS,
Mm-hmm.
or you can just do BO.
Yeah.
One of my favorite jokes. And I think that might be beneficial for
Yeah.
you.
Sounds good.
Does it?
And like pretty simple,
Mm-hmm. That's what I like about
Right,
it.
right. And you're like incorporating like things that you like to do that will help.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if I just even like remembered that every day, like it would get me through the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if I did one, like if I started off, I mean it sounds like a lot at first, like all those things and
Right.
activities, but if I took it like, all right, today I'm going to focus on taking a walk with my iPod.
Mm-hmm.
And if, like, I guess if that's like the only thing that I do, like at least it was better than just doing what I do every day.
See, that's so
Yeah.
insightful. That's great.
Mhm.
That's great.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes too there'll even be days where you might need to kind of say, you know what, I'm not going to look for a job today.
Mhm.
I'm taking the day off.
Right.
I'm going to go to the meeting. I'm going to basically do that boss stuff. Do
Mhm.
pleasurable things all day because it'll get you out of your own headspace
Mm-hmm.
and connect you with other people if you do the others.
Mhm.
And especially if you learn the guitar and do the yoga, I think that would be really helpful.
Right.
So,
Yeah. I'll definitely look into it and look on the board and
okay.
see who I have to contact.
I was thinking that you would I wanted to try the thought stopping approach with you when we
Mhm.
talked last week, but I really thought that you would benefit from this one. It's
Right.
taken from the dialectical behavioral therapy
Mhm.
model.
Right.
And I was thinking of you, and I thought that you might be particularly into this technique.
Mm-hmm.
So please, for the next week, give that one
I will.
a try.
I will.
Okay.
Definitely. It sounds a little bit more manageable to me than when I have the racing thoughts to like stop look at
Good.
the wall. You know, I
Yeah.
think if I just keep myself busy,
Yep.
then I'll
Right.
get through.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Thank
Okay.
you.
You're very welcome. So we have about 5 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that you want to discuss before?
I think that's good. A good start. A
Okay.
lot. And I'll try to go to the meeting and get my chip and raise my hand, even though I'll probably be freaking out inside. But hopefully, like you said, it will feel good to talk, and then like maybe, hopefully, somebody will come up to me to talk to me about like the program
Mhm.
and set up a friendship through that. So, yeah.
Okay, great. That sounds really great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so basically, you know how I love to give homework?
Yeah.
Doing what you just said
Mhm.
is great. Please, you know, consider speaking at the
Mhm.
meetings and getting your 30-day coin. And just try to remember the boss technique as
Mhm.
well. And I would like to, if you could, just maybe start journaling in the beginning of the day, end of the day, middle of the day, whenever you want. That you could incorporate too into the boss technique. Maybe start doing a little bit of writing, basically about, you know, free form, whatever you want to write about, even if it's just chicken scratch
Right.
all over the place. You might want to give that a try as well.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
So, it was great seeing you this
Yeah,
week.
thank you so much.
You're welcome, and thank you, and I'll see you next week.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Great. Thank you.
Bye.